All right, guys, got another home reno project, new doors, as I'm just replacing the slabs. So this is my son's room. Just finished up this door. I have to paint this still. All this trim is getting painted, but I needed to get the doors roughed in before I went ahead and painted. I took the old slab off and I compared it to the new, and I'll show you that process. First step, guys, remove all the hardware. So take off all the hinges, all that, take the door handle off, and remove the actual latch. This is a big reason why I'm getting new slabs. That is a foot mark from rough housing back in the day. So I marked the inside, just scribble. You'll need to know which side is the inside. I placed the inside up. Next step is to get that door, get the new door slab on top. All right. Make sure you know which side is up. This is the up side. I marked it inside. And you'll get the new door slab, put it on top. And get it perfectly lined up on the corners on the hinge side. Perfectly line up the corners on the hinge side first. I kind of had this done ahead of time, so basically you mark where your hinges are, get this perfectly lined up, and then mark each hinge mortise where they go in relation to this door. Make sure also that your length is right on. Sometimes they shave down doors to make it fit in a jamb. So mine's right on the 80 inch height mark, so I didn't have to do any adjustments to the to the height of the door. Where each hinge goes, mark it, and then also make sure you're just going to copy this. So make sure you get all the this is a 3/4 round hinge, so make sure that you're marking it where you're going to remove the wood. So you're going to leave, in my instance, we're going to leave this little the rounded edge here. We're going to leave that, and we're going to remove all this material. So make sure you have it marked exactly where it goes on each one. Also, after you've marked the hinges, come in with your pencil or marker, whatever, and mark exactly where this goes, where the door handle goes. Basically, all you're doing is using the old door as an exact template. That's what you want to do. As long as that door is functioning well, then you can go ahead and use it as a direct template for the new door. Now, if you have trouble with the door staying open, or if it's not sitting into the hinges correctly, you may have to make other adjustments. But this one, my door is working pretty well. I'm happy with the way it is, so I'm going to make a direct template. The next step would be make sure you're perfectly lined up. I mean, to the millimeter. Lined up here, and this is where it's tricky for me. I bought doors that are a complete 90. Now, you'll notice that the old door, it's at a slight angle, and that allows for the door to swing shut into the door jamb easier and not get caught on an edge. So basically, my application is that these came at 90 degrees on both ends. So this is the hinge side. You don't want to angle the hinge side. Make sure you're not This is the hinge side where we have them all marked. And this is the side that swings into the door jamb. And you're going to want to make sure that you rip down the door to perfectly match this angle. So to match this angle, you're going to have to get your table saw and cant the blade in favor of that angle. And you'll see that I have a slight angle on my skill saw. Also, this is a 36-inch slab, and my door is actually, the width of this door, the old one, is actually 35 3/4. So I do have to remove 1/4 of an inch, which I have marked here. So I have to remove 1/4 of an inch and account for the angle of the door jamb cut. All right, once you guys get where your cut needs to be made or ripped down the length of the door, the best trick that I found is get a perfectly straight piece of finish trim is what this is. They're 1x4 pine, and it's perfectly straight. I got the straightest piece I could find at Home Depot. In relation to where you want to rip down the door, you're going to find that very carefully with your saw. Keep your saw where it needs to go. Now keep it there, find your right spot, just like I have here. I'm going to rip right here. So what I'm going to do is bring this piece of pine over, and I'm going to meet where my saw is going to rest and follow. Because I don't know about you guys, I do not have a steady enough hand to cut this perfectly straight. So I'm going to use this board to assist the cut. So once you find that, you're going to get that perfectly lined up, take your clamp, and you're going to clamp this down. Actually, I'm going to flip this around so my saw can actually get around the clamp. So you're going to get it set up there. Great. We got our mark, all right? And the board is clamped in. Now you're going to measure what's the length from that board to where your mark is right here, where you're going to rip down. You're going to measure that, and then what you're going to do is come down the other length of the door, and you're going to find that mark. I'm going to move it over, and I'm just going to I'm going to put the camera down and get real precise, but you're going to want to get it where it goes here. Grab your other clamp. And lock it in place. Now you have a perfect template for the saw to rest upon and to guide your cut all the length of the door. So it's going to come out perfectly straight. Now go back and double check all these measurements. I would recommend putting the blade up against your mark at the far end and making sure everything is 100% straight. Measure twice, cut once. Oh, I recommend clamping the door on the opposite side that you're cutting so you can push. All right, let's rip it down. I will also note that I'm using an ultra finish blade on my saw, on my skill saw. So you're getting the best cut. I mean, look how nice finished of a cut that is. And using this method will get you the most. I mean, look at this cut. I mean, 100% even down the line. What you're left with when you make that cut is hopefully a perfect replica of the other door. You'll note that that slight angle is there, and that should close up real nice in the door jamb. I get a palm sander and I finish these edges off. The next order of business is getting these hinges, the mortises, I believe that's what they're called, get those cut in. So basically I went out and bought the ROYBI template for that. I'll be using that in the template. Sorry to get you out of focus there. And also it's adjustable for different sized hinges. So basically just clamp this on, and then we're going to go ahead and clamp it down. Just snug so it doesn't move. Once you got that, this kit comes with the router bit that you'll need, which is what I have on place on my router here. And also it comes with a depth. See these little grooves here? And you can set your depth. There's 2 different depths that are usually recommended for doors. Go ahead and get the depth set on your router, and then you're ready to rip. Look at that, perfect cut. Now I will show and share with you, I did this by hand on this one. Golly, boy, that was the very first one I tried. Horrendous. Got a little better with the second one, but look how crappy. I mean, I couldn't get this perfect. Is it gonna pass? Yes. This is a closet door that I did this to, the very first one I tried. Took me 40 minutes to do this door by hand to get all the hinge mortises in, and then the hinge and then the latch. With this, it takes you, I don't know, what, 30, 40 seconds to get one done, and look at, it's absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these finished up. I got another template, is this Mastercraft. I got this at, I believe Menards. It's like 20 bucks. And the ROYBI template right here is, I think that was like 24 bucks. I got it off Amazon. Couldn't find it at Home Depot anymore. Probably pandemic related. Anyway, this template is the way you do your, the door handle and the actual hinge or the latch, whatever you want to call it, the hole for that. And it actually comes with the hole saws that you need. We have our from the old door, we still have where our door handle goes. So go ahead and put our template on there, get it lined up perfectly, get that latch down. I'll also share with you that the ROYBI set, it's actually pretty nice. This actually comes with the door hinge center pre-drill kit. So that actually came right in here with the set. So actually it's a nice little outer bit came right there. Anyway, nice kit. The Mastercraft kit came with a nice hole saw. Come at it from the front and the back so you get clean finish edges on both sides, not just one. Once you get your holes drilled, go ahead and release the clamp of the template. By the way, this template also accommodates for larger doors that are like exterior, 1 3/8 and 1 3/4, and you can adjust the thickness with that. Also, the depth of your hole, you can adjust that as well. So nice little $20, comes with everything you need to get your holes perfect. So yeah, got all my holes drilled for its template, and we're gonna mark where that goes. This one's tricky because for whatever reason, this bad boy, it'd be nice if it came with a router template for the mortise or the the inlay you have to do for the latch, but it does not. So what I do is kind of just jury rig this to kind of get a head start on it. Otherwise, and I will note that I have to finish it by hand with a chisel and hammer. So I'm actually getting pretty good at it now. It's not bothering me, but there was a bit of a learning curve starting that off, just to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm a DIYer basically, so there is a learning curve with a lot of this stuff. But if you get the right tools for the job, it'll come out nice. And if you use a little creativity and use the tools for the job, these two things are working out beautifully. So with the router, I get it about halfway where it needs to be. Finish the rest up with the chisel, keeping the flat edge on the outside so you keep everything nice and clean. And I use a little hammer to, we just come and remove that material. You want this to sit in there perfectly flush. Still high in this corner. All right, finished. And it sits perfectly flush. Away it looks pretty good, but if you get up close you can see the little imperfections, but I had to do it by hand. So and then this is where you can go ahead and use your auto centering tool. The drill bit, kind of go in there and pre-mark your holes. I will note that I'm doing this just for purposes of fitting, and I plan on going back and these will all get painted white. So this is just a rough. This is actually finished in. The door that's in rough, it's roughed in. So, yeah. that is complete. Basically, if you were not going to paint and you were just going to hang the door up, which if you had a wood door and you're not going to stain, I would stain the edge to make everything match. But basically, you're just going to now take your hinges. Now you're just going to take your hinges, and look how perfect that fits. Way better than, I mean, does that work? Yeah, sure. But it doesn't look nearly as clean as that professional fit. And I mean, this is flush. Come in there. Can you see a lip? Nope. Completely in there. 100% professional. So you're just going to use your, and actually you'll use your center hole guide. Boom, boom, boom. Get them all in there. And put your screws back in. And go and hang the door. And basically, that is the job. This door probably took me about an hour to do. The reason that I did this video and the reason that I went out and got all these tools, like I had to buy the router and I had to buy the templates, which isn't cheap. It was probably all said and done 180 to 200. I can't really remember exactly. You can get a much smaller router, but I always overbuy on tools for some reason because I know down the line I'll need it for something. I wish I would have went bigger, like a 2.25 horsepower router. You can get those hand routers that are like one horsepower. It would be 100% adequate for this job, and those cost about $100. So you could cut your price there. But anyway, the reason that I did this video and I did this myself is because I needed 6 doors done upstairs, and I called a guy and he's like, yeah, $150 a door. And I was like, man, that's kind of high. I'm pretty handy around the house, so I got to at least give myself a chance to save $150 a door. On 6 doors is $900. Yeah, 900. I saved money by purchasing the tools myself and do it myself because I have the time, thank God, and I had the money to go out and buy the tools. Thank the good Lord for that. It maybe took me an hour to do one door. So an hour and a half max. That's how I'm doing my doors. I'm not a professional, I'm a DIYer. So, if you want to tackle this job, you think you're pretty handy around the house, I would recommend doing it yourself. You'll save a lot of money. I think $150 was actually, after doing more research, was very reasonable on the guy's price, but I still felt that I wanted to do it myself. So anyway, I hope this video helps you guys. Any questions, comments, concerns, you want to say, hey, holla at your boy, just leave them in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one.